See, I'm in a good mood. What the hell? Oh, we're live now. Great. Well, here we go.
Come on. Hot, sicker than your average. Papa twist cabbage on instinct. You don't think, stink pink gators. My Detroit players. Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. That's dead right. If they head right, Biggie there, and I. Papa been school since days of undermoves. Never choose to. Bruce Cruz who? Do something to us. Talk, go through us. Girls want to us.
I like it, Chris.
Screw us. Who us? Yeah, Papa and Pump. Close like Starsky and Hutch. Stick to clutch.
I could just go all day with this one.
You gotta do the chorus.
If you know, yeah.
Recently, I ain't saying nothing, so I just speak my peace. Keep my peace. Cubans with the Jesus peace.
All right, here it comes.
Oh, snap. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Command your morning. If you know why I played that song, it's the same reason why Karen's wearing her special collar today. We're just saluting. We are honoring the notorious RBG this morning. Notorious RBG.
It's really a sad day.
Listen, I just want to start it off by saying whether or not your beliefs were the same as hers, there's no arguing that she was a fighter and that she went after what she believed in, and we can all respect that. You know what I mean?
Afraid of anybody or intimidated. And I loved her relationship with Anthony Scalia.
Oh my God, the greatest thing. So I watched the RBG documentary last night with Ann on Saturday night. And like that relationship between the two of them just goes to show you, like, listen, like we don't have to hate each other if we have different beliefs. The problem is, like, that's what happens right off the bat. Like if I disagree with you on a belief that I have, and your belief is different, like people just get nasty. Like nobody wants to hear.
No, like I don't believe that you should wear the same shirt 2 days in a row.
Right, and I completely disagree with you because it's a brand new shirt, just came in the mail. I wore it.
So not only is it going to smell from wearing it 2 days, it's also like got that stuff on it that's really gonna.
I wore it for like 3 hours yesterday. Okay, like I wasn't rolling around the freaking mud.
But look, we can still love each other.
I mean, I guess. No, but I mean, it's true. Like, let's just like stop hating on each other because we think differently sometimes. It's just, really.
Amen. All right. Did you go to the lake? What'd you do? It frosted.
I think go to the lake. It's like 37 degrees in Michigan. It's almost like Michigan is like, okay, summer's over. Winter. Wait, we forgot fall. Oh, no. We're just going to go right to winter. I woke up Saturday morning. There was legit frost on my car. I was like, what is going on? Frost. It should be. Then I wonder why I moved here, but I love Michigan. It's okay.
Yeah, because your wife is there. So that's why it's okay.
Well, my wife was in New Jersey too. It's not like my wife wasn't in New Jersey. So I just want to give a shout out to my boy Ken Posick, Orlando. He's originally from Detroit. But check out this dope shirt. Like it's just really good quality. It's like a good,
Keep touching yourself.
It just makes me want to do this.
Don't stop.
Don't stop? Oh, okay. Oh, you said stop. Oh, sorry. My bad. He's sending me a hoodie too. So
that's nice. I still am like reeling over the excitement from our guest on Friday. So our guest today is really better step it up. I mean, that's a lot of pressure after what we had Friday.
Oh, Andrew. Yeah, that was some.
Oh my God. So good. So good. I had a friend come in town this weekend, which is why we didn't talk on the phone. And she flew in Friday. We went downtown, stayed in the city. We played all day. Saturday.
You did FaceTime me though.
Yeah. Saturday we played and rode around in the convertible, did a little shopping, a little dinner, and then she left yesterday morning. So it was
Who was your friend?
Her name is Teresa. And
how do you know Teresa?
I know her from the restaurant business. Literally 21 years ago, we were adding it up yesterday. I actually married her. I married her and my other best friend, Annie, from the restaurant.
So you married Teresa and then you married Joel?
I married Teresa to Chris and I married Annie to Chris. And
you didn't marry each other. I just want to
No. And then
listen, I never know with you, Karen.
I also sold each of them their first house. Like I was their realtor and then I married them.
Whenever I talk to Karen about her friends, she's like this. Oh yeah. She's like, I officiated their wedding. I went, I delivered their baby.
Yeah.
She's
I gave him a tattoo.
It's everything. It's everything. It's like, I performed the bris. It's all like everything. Like everything. All of Karen's friends. She's like, I was there.
Do you know what the biggest challenge? Stop putting your drink down like that. Do you know what the biggest challenge? Stop it. Oh my God. Do you know what the biggest challenge I'm having today? I have to show you. Okay. This is like a cream I like to put in my coffee. Okay. It's like almond milk, oat milk.
Yeah. We use something similar.
Yeah. I can't get it open. Like I have a blister.
Why don't you like hit the top with a fork or a knife or something? No. Not like that. You know how you hit the top with something?
I need our guest. He's really strong to come on. Anyway, I brought the whole bottle into work so someone could help me open it. Look at my hand. It's like literally ripped from trying to open it.
Why don't you get your samurai sword and just go whoosh, like, those TikToks where they slice the top off of like a champagne bottle?
Well, that's actually a yachty would do that. A yacht captain.
Yeah, but no, you're like,
right. Well, I don't know, but I'm so frustrated. I brought it into work. I carried that whole thing in here. So
yeah, we use the almond milk stuff too. It's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Listen, we're gonna bring our.
No, he has 2 minutes because you didn't get to tell me what you did for your birthday. By the way, tomorrow's my wife's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are you getting her?
I got her a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to tell you. You should try watching.
Okay.
But we're going to go to dinner and sit outside somewhere. It's supposed to be like 76 degrees, so that's a good temperature to sit outside.
A win. Big Ten football coming back. I can't wait. Finally.
I don't really watch sports, so I don't really. Can we talk about the Emmy Awards last night? Because I thought
I don't really watch Emmy.
But I want to. You know what? I just want to tell you how funny this was. So Jimmy Kimmel pranked the entire world. He comes out and there's like a full like Staples Center full of people, and then they kept cutting. And at first you're like, wait a minute, like Hollywood just gets together during a pandemic? Turns out like it was a green screen in front of him, and he was on a set, and then they like pulled away, and there was no one there, and he was in the Staples Center actually. And it was just hilarious. For 7 minutes, they had you thinking he was actually in front of a live audience with thousands of people. It was hysterical.
That's a great story.
No, the reason why I thought it was funny was because Twitter went crazy. Like, oh, so Hollywood there's no pandemic because Hollywood is, you know what I mean? It was one of those.
No, they're exempt. They're actually coronavirus. They live in a bubble, and coronavirus cannot affect them.
Right, exactly.
Or other people. Okay, can we bring our guest on because he's one of my favorite agents because he's an agent in my office. I'm not really worried about that other office he's also a member of.
I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's gonna be great. Do you know how I love your guests that you bring on? Like you're gonna love my guests because, cool story, Meg. I agree. Like, how do you explain that whole thing? I agree. Thank you, Kimberly.
What are you talking about?
Kimberly. She is my best friend now with Lauren, the three of us.
Kimberly and I are no longer friends as of right now.
All right.
Look at this face. Look, I'm kidding. Does this face look like I'm kidding?
Look at this face. Look at this face right here. Andy, you're a little blendy. Turn your phone off Wi-Fi.
My phone
is
on
Wi-Fi.
Well, take your phone off Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's a very it's
you're
very
pixelated.
Very digital.
You're like a character.
Very digital.
Analog.
Not in
digital.
character. Is it better?
No, but we'll make it better. Just give it a minute. It'll work out in a minute.
You know what it is? If you have other stuff on, like other phones and iPads on.
Your oven, like, are you baking cookies, muffins, or something?
Are you doing laundry?
No, I can't say that.
My washer and dryer does have Wi-Fi. It's very strange. I don't.
That's why I asked if he was doing laundry.
Okay, back to you. Who are you, Andy Hannigan?
Well, I first and foremost am out of St. Louis, Missouri, and Illinois. Yet my license is applied 5 hours away at the Naperville office, Infinity, Keller Williams Infinity. And that would be what I first started. I'm a Hannigan Team Realty on both sides of the river. I'm a MAPS agent coach, and I'm the president of KWYP St. Louis and the KWYP ambassador for the Mid-American and Greater Heartland regions.
Oh, snap. But Andy, what are you really doing? No, I'm just kidding.
And you were a boat coach, right?
I'm a what?
Well, you were a bold coach.
I tried out. They asked me to be a bold coach. I decided that the travel just was not fair to my team or my KWYP chapter.
Word.
That and travel your chapter of the year, KWYP
chapter. 2 times.
So chapter of the year, how does what happens when you're chapter of the year?
Well,
like, what do you need? What happens? What do you need to be considered?
I think, okay, so it's bragging rights, number one. That's really it at the end of it. Yeah, to get to that level, you got to grow your chapter. You got to maintain your chapter, so less attrition, less turnover. Though the big things that we do are we're very social. We make sure we have a great culture as far as just being friends and liking each other. Yeah, it's more importantly, we also work on our businesses as our second focus, and then giving back to our communities our third. So as long as we do those 3 things, and if any chapter does those 3 things, they have a good shot at being chapter of the year. It's about growth. It's about giving back. It's about making some kind of impact. It's not a social group. The entire division is not a social division. It's more like a leadership laboratory. We go in and we get people to say, okay, here's the 3 things that we want to achieve. Are you a good fit? Great. What do you want to do? And then how can we support you in that area? And then they just go and develop things. Like right now, obviously, the big topic, right, is a lot to do with social injustice. And so we had somebody say, hey, we like how you guys are creating specific positions, leadership positions, and supporting us and rallying around what we're looking to do. I'd like to create a social justice chair, a social equity, social equality chair, whatever you want to call it. We don't have the exact name yet. We're building that right now and supporting around that. And what we're going to be doing is ideating about what our community outreach is going to be next year in St. Louis. You don't know much about St. Louis, we can be rather divided in certain areas, whether it's north, south, east, west, black, white, police versus the disenfranchised, so to speak. And we don't see that as, you guys were talking about it earlier, if you agree with one thing, people flip out a little bit. We don't think we need to do that. We can come together and have conversations. We don't think it's us versus them. It's actually Missouri versus Illinois, too, in a lot of capacities, right?
Sure is.
And so what we want to do is get together and make sure that we're going, and we've been doing this already, teaching wealth building and money education to the high schools and the grade schools, though we've been doing that mostly in the West St. Louis County, which is the top 1% of wealth in the world. And we kind of want to go to North St. Louis City, which is in some areas comparable to third world countries. And so we're redirecting some of our efforts in community outreach in that area.
I mean, really, and you give bad dad jokes every day.
Yeah, I have to. I'm a little, we do a lot of workout challenges and fitness challenges, so I can come off as bro-y at times. And if I'm not on Facebook Live enough, and because I think, Karen, you agreed with this when I said this on Friday when I was presenting to, I think, your E2P network, I can come off as a little intense, a little overly masculine, overly done. And so that kind of balances me out when you can put those bad dad jokes or those cheesy pickup lines out there, self-deprecate a little bit, and people say, okay, this guy isn't as bad as we thought.
You have to do that. You have to.
You can't take yourself too seriously. You got to be authentic. I think that's why Nick and I have 23 viewers, because we're super authentic. And we don't
know what? Listen, sometimes we get 100. It depends on whether or not you have a co-host other than myself. But I was going to say that, no, Sean Rawls was on. Can I finish my sentence? I'm going to make a point. That's why.
You watched it, Andy? He was
amazing. Last night I watched that, yeah.
Yeah, Sean Rawls said, don't ever take yourself too seriously, but always take your business seriously. So there's, I always feel like, and that's why we do this show. There's so much seriousness, right? It seems like it's not fun, right? Like when an agent gets on and they're like talking about their business, they go, and we just have so much fun. And I'm like, everything you told me sounds completely the opposite of fun. So you have to have fun in your business, and then your business is the part that you take seriously. So while you're in it, have a good time, and then while you're looking at it, take that seriously.
So what's it like managing a team in 2 different states, that you have to, juggle it?
It's expensive sometimes. You know, you have the state of Illinois is just a little bit more expensive to make money on my side.
Do you know I reduced your cap?
Oh, thank you. You're the best.
Yeah, you want to have cap. Congratulations, you want to have cap. Great job.
All right, I'll let both my coaches and my executive assistant know so they can stop hounding me. So I appreciate that.
That's why you cap so fast.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And it's more about the Metro East side more than it is the entire state, though it's just a little bit more expensive because you're making less on the Metro East side of St. Louis versus the Missouri side. They just pay a little more. And on top of that, it's only about 20 minutes away, honestly. So it's just a river. So outside of that, I mean, you're looking at a little bit different culture professionally, though it's all the same. I mean, it opens me up to every single Missouri agent that doesn't have an Illinois license, which is 97% of all the agents on the St. Louis side are now my people. I can make contacts, and that's my network. That's my data bank.
That's a huge opportunity to take advantage of. Is people don't think of it that way, which is, I can serve customers, but I can also be a great referral agent for every agent that is not licensed in Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's fun too because you get those echoing, and they appreciate, they're small business owners, they're doing what you're doing, but they also appreciate your the job well done, and they sing your praises and give you testimonials without you working so hard to get them.
Well, what about the fact that your team leaders, each of us, fight over you with each other, like to the death of our reputations? Like, what do you feel about being that child in the divorce?
Well, so Sean Riles and I have a very similar mindset. It's very stoic, whether he knows it or not, which is, it's very flattering, and you don't let your ego get the best of you. You take care of the people that take care of you. And if people are jealous because one person gets a little bit more attention, Russ, if you're watching, chill out.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, how does Russ deal with the relationship that you and I get along so succinctly, and he gets left out of the high level intellectual conversations?
Well, I mean, it's part of the fact that he just can't. He doesn't have the capacity mentally to handle what we talk. Yeah, he would get overwhelmed. And, we give him what we can, which are bad dad jokes and cheesy pickup lines, and he gets entertained by that, and that's it. I am going to tag him in this post, by the way.
Andy, let's talk about our April Fool's joke that wasn't so funny to a lot of people in 2019.
Sure. Nick, do you know anything about this, by the way? Nice to meet you, finally.
Nice to meet you too, Andy. I'm so glad that
Nick is going to
Karen. I'm so glad that Karen has brought me into the conversation.
I want you to hear about this joke.
All right, so was it 2 years ago now or 3 years ago? I called Karen. I said, "Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prank my team leader in St. Louis, and we're going to have a private Facebook group where we're going to make an announcement that myself and my partner, two big agents in the region, we're going to move to EXP. It's going to be all a joke. I'll hire somebody from Fiverr. We'll make all kinds of collateral and graphics." And we put this together, and I invited like 40 people. Karen was one of them. We had everyone in on it, and they took screenshots, sent it to him. He freaked out a little bit, but
I sent it to my regional director.
Well, I was going to get to that. It went all the way to John Davis within a couple hours, and Mark King, he was our RD at the time. He called David and Russ. He said, "Hey, huge loss here, guys. Let me know what I can do to make this work." And I love David Barroso. He's a great friend of mine. He was in on the joke. He goes, "We need to stop this now." I go, "Give me a little bit. I'll let Mark know what's going on." I texted Mark. I said, "Mark, hey, this is a joke." He goes, "Oh, it's funny now." I'm like, "All we want to do was get Russ frazzled on a Sunday night." He goes, "All right." Russ kind of knew after about a half hour. He's like, "Wait, it's April Fool's, and this is Andy. He does this to me every year." Like the year before, we filled up his entire office full of balloons. He couldn't even enter it. So he's aware of kind of the jokes, but everybody else was penalized from that. Everyone else was in on the joke on accident.
It became not funny really fast.
Oh yeah. I'll have to send you that picture of our announcement just so you guys can have that.
I said to my regional.
How long did you let that go on for?
Yeah, it was a couple. I mean, after when my RD started freaking out a little bit, I had to, because it was in his boss's inbox now. I kind of had to at least educate the people who were supposed to know.
Oh, that's brutal.
It was fun until it wasn't.
So Andy, tell me about your business. I don't really know much about you. So how's your business look like? What kind of team do you run?
Well, as far as the my team's concerned, we peaked at about 9 members, 9 agents, and 189 deals. So we were kind of inefficient as an agent. Though we're rebuilding a little bit now. I got out of business with a partner, and we're at 4 agents now, and we're on track to do about 120 deals. And
that's awesome. So like you have productive agents.
Yeah, productive agents. I mean, I got a workload of or a client load of 30 on the map side of things. So my ability to inject myself into lead generation side, I got about 15 hours a week, and that's it. Where normally it'd be closer to 25, 30.
I will also add that he is my #1 command database contact member in my whole office.
So you have more contacts.
51,000 contacts in his database.
Are you using command only, or do you have other things you use too?
Command only. My team for a while fought me on getting back into Trello. Though once we got our executive assistant hired, which was about a month and a half ago, she got in opportunities and said, "We're staying here. We're staying in opportunities."
So you were tracking your deals in Trello then?
We were tracking our deals in Trello until we stopped in July. They fought me to get back into Trello, though I have a very talented executive assistant already plugged into the Keller models and everything, coming back into it. And she said, nah, within a half hour being in opportunities, she said, we're staying here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same thing, except it's got more connections to your goals and to your pipeline. And the I think like the moving the deals to and from, like it's the learning curve from Trello to opportunities is not difficult.
And as a draft coach, you'll be able to be invited inside all your agents that you coach inside their community too to look.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, and more importantly to me, it's one less password I have to reset and remember again. It's it's always the challenge.
That's awesome.
We really love it, and we're scrubbing and we're getting our health score up right now. That's the big push for between now and the end of the year. We're probably getting a couple virtual assistants in there to help us out with that, and some help with let's say, if you've ever been to Pipple.com, that's a service that we're probably going to have to use that piece all that information. Pipple, P-I-P-L. I mean, if you can imagine.
I thought you said Pitbull. I was like, he's like in LinkedIn now? Okay.
Yeah. It used to be a free service, but it helps you piecemeal together all of that. Let's say you got a bad lead where there was one piece of good information, usually would be the email. You would use that to skip trace them, find out who they were, and still contact them. Take the extra step that other agents would not if they were going to their website and using the same false information to register.
Do you know one of the best things I did, and it's going to sound very elementary to especially you two because you are very advanced, but I did it with Nick, is I bought a domain and it's called connectwithcorinne.com, and I forwarded it just to a contact landing page and it just said, hey, can you update your contact info? And I sent it to some dear friends that I work with inside Command Your Conversion page. And they fill out their contact info, and then it's uploaded as a lead in my database automatically. And it's just so easy because people trust the text coming from you.
Connect with Corinne.
I know it's so simple. Like it was so simple, but I got everyone's right contact info. It was awesome. I love it. Yeah.
See, at the 23-minute mark, I'll make sure my marketing coordinator gets on that.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. I'm happy to.
The 23-minute mark of this. That's so funny.
Oh, okay.
So where does most of your business come from? You got 51,000 contacts in there. Where is most of those deals coming from?
Honestly, they're still coming from the SOI and past clients. I mean, we got a lot.
Real quick, Julie wants to know Julie Youngblood wants to know if the site is called Pimple or Pitbull.
It's P-I-P-L.
P-I-P-L.com. Pipple. There you go.
Oh, it's so funny.
Andy, that's why we love this site, because I can do this all day if I want.
Why are you doing that? Stop.
Okay, back to you, Andy.
So, Andy, a lot of it is SOI?
A lot of it's SOI, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of people we've taken care of. I mean, and Karen knows this because I've been up there teaching it, but I teach a breakout and sometimes at family reunion, and I go around to market centers teaching the same thing. It's how to turn your database into a data bank. And all it is making sure that you hit the birthdays, you hit the house anniversaries, You hit the wedding anniversaries because no one's hitting those after your first or second year of marriage.
Sure.
And you're giving a consistent amount of information that's probably rather banal, and yet it's still there for mind share, both on your personal as well as your business page. But it's phone calls, it's voice to voice, it's face to face. Now we're doing video emails through BombBomb, which are honestly is a godsend. My response rate on people kind of responding back, so it technically counts as a two-way conversation, is close to 70-80% now. It's insane. And the same with video text, something I did at the beginning of my career, completely forgot about. We're doing those now. We're getting about a 60-70% response rate on that as well, if we're not getting a hold of certain people after calling for 3 or 4 times in a row.
How many times will you call a contact before you give up?
I don't, until they tell me to give up. You know,
Right, buy or die.
Yeah, buy or die. I mean, it's not any different now than it was 12 years ago when I first took Bold and kind of got it. It's there's no difference. I'm after this last pivot, if you want to count those, it's 22.
22 touches per person?
22 Bold.
No, 22 Bold.
Oh, you've taken 20 Bold 22 times?
Yeah,
That might
22
be,
Bold.
that might be a record. Is that right? Is that more than Richard Calabat?
No, how many is he? I don't even know who he is. Gina Round was beating me by 4. Almost always he beats me by 4. I almost took Bold here and then in Chicago or Naperville, though the bandwidth just wouldn't allow me to do that, to see if I can catch up with them. But we're at 22. I'm sure somebody's gonna be at 30.
I have a question for you that a lot of agents say this about Bold. You know, they're like, "Oh, I already took it, right? I don't need to take it again." Can you tell people watching why you've taken it so many times?
I mean, I'm not a rah-rah guy. I'm like with Karen, and again, I listened to you, Karen, on Sean Rao's conversation. Up at 4 a.m. I'm doing a lot of things before anybody even gets to the office, you know, and so I don't need that recharge like Bolt has. I understand a lot of people do. What I do require in order to be my best is accountability. I'm a team guy. I'm a sports-based guy, a team sports-based guy. So having a team, having people where I have to look them in the eye and coach them and teach them, and then also fulfill those same commitments that they have, so I'm doing it with integrity, that's important to me. And Bold offers that. Now, I don't care what anyone takes. I really don't. People think that if they say something bad about Bold, it's like a cardinal. It's like an affront against me. It's not. If you don't like Bold, great. Though if you still have to create an environment for yourself to be as productive as possible, and whatever that looks like, go do that. Bold's just really cheap, and it's really convenient because they do all of it for you. And you got an instructor that's getting everyone rah-rah that needs to be rah-rah, that needs that ramp up. And then you have a team that's put right in front of you. And a lot of times there's at least 4 or 5 new people that have never taken Bold that are very nervous and overwhelmed. And you're there to help coach them through that. That's very fulfilling for somebody like me. Seeing Bold through their eyes, it renews it. It doesn't get old.
Like a proud dad, not a bad dad joke guy.
No, I'm proud dad and bad dad. In real life, I'm no dad. Well, I'm a dog dad, I think. That's the only dad I am.
I was going to say, do you have kids?
Daddy.
No, I have 3 dogs I walk every morning, and they're ungrateful.
You know what I say to my animals every day when I leave to go to work? I go, listen, I just cleaned up your poop and I just fed you, and now I'm going to go to work so you all can continue to the lifestyle that you are used to. So animals, roam free, eat when you choose to love me or not love me. It's okay. I'll be at work and you can stay home. How about that?
That's your affirmation every morning.
I've got my animal right down here.
That's what I say. That's what I say to my animals in the morning. Like, I'll just go to work again today, so you can just keep living in my house because I love you.
You guys see this lazy bum right here?
He's so cute. We should bring your pet to work day.
Walter.
Oh, that's right. I have a Walter dog. Anyway, Andy, one last question. What do you get from the Mega Camp experience? What do you think?
So as a MAPS coach, we had a different job and experience than the rest of you. So I'm playing a little bit of catch up. Yet I would say the Gary and Keith Cunningham conversation day one was really all I needed, all I required. Gary talked about furiously doing one thing, just tackling one challenge taking care of that, having tunnel vision on that, and doing something else. Now, he wrote the One Thing book. I've read it 5 times now. And somehow the way Gary said it and the way Keith kind of expounded upon that made it very clear that I got a lot of projects that I should just relentlessly tackle so I can not have to. So that's not on my mind. It's not hanging over my head while I'm on the phone lead generating, powering through that just so I can get back to my other projects.
I agree. I got so much crap done this weekend of things that were just hanging over my head. And if I couldn't do it, I would just hire someone to get it done, because it was so freeing to just knock that stuff out, to clear your head, to face what's important.
Yeah, that was the big thing. And I've taken that to the rest of my team, the rest of my coaching clients, and challenged them. What's that one thing that's hanging over you that if you got that done, things would just feel easier because you weren't as stressed. You weren't resenting yourself for putting that off. And that's the big thing I think that we're all dealing with as a coach, seeing stay-at-home parents, especially moms. I got a lot of moms that I coach. I got a lot of people that are starting projects because they feel like failures on the projects that they haven't finished yet. And so we're getting them recalibrated to go, wait, is this project really what we should be doing right now? And we'll get rid of all their rationalizations and get them to, all right, this is what's really causing you pain. And you're looking to move away from that and towards a completed project, pain versus pleasure. Yeah, let's get this done so we don't have to even consider this a pain point anymore. This is a pleasure point for you. And it functionally helps your business. So if you're looking for another F word with Sean's interview, it would be functional. Let's make sure that we get functional projects done, not things that just make us feel better, and get that F word out of our vocabulary.
Or the word finance, like don't save your money, don't finance anything. I can think of a lot of F words that I typically don't use, but there's a few that I do use on a daily basis, that's for sure. And freak is not one of them. Okay, so if you were looking into 2021 and you're coaching your agents, like what is 1 or 2 key strategies that you're pushing for 2021?
I'm really enjoying the results we're getting from 90-day spurts. Now, you know the Pollocks, Mark and Wendy, they just celebrated their 90-day goal, because right now people are living in the moment, the pain of the moment. They can't fathom a whole year's worth of what they're feeling right now. What they can do is,
there are a couple, so people know, they're married. They have six children, 8 children. Yeah. 6 children.
Blended family, I think is what you call them.
All blended family, all school age children except for 1. So they've got their hands full.
Oof. Yeah. Wonderful people, a lot on their plate. And instead of looking at a 2021 goal, we're looking at a rest of the year goal. And then we're looking at Q1 goal. And it's just more manageable for them. And again, Gary talks about this and Think Like a CEO, how your timelines shrink. I just was listening to, while I was walking my dogs this morning, a Jordan Peterson conversation. Whether you like him or hate him, he has some good science-backed information that I utilize very frequently as a coach. And when you're in pain, your timeline shrinks a little bit. To a lot of it, because you can only think of the now when you're in a lot of, if you stub your toe, are you thinking about your vision for the next 30 years? No, you're in the moment, you're present. And so we got to think about shrinking our timelines that keep us from getting into overwhelm. Because for all we know, the pandemic is going to be for a whole nother year. If we really start thinking in terms of 2021, who wants to really think about that?
That's really helpful. Nick, don't you think?
Yeah, that's totally how my mind works too. Like people go, look, Nick, what's your goal for the year? I'm like, dude, I need a goal for the next 5 minutes. Like, I have little children. My wife's homeschooling them. I'm doing what I can to help, but then I have a full-time job as tech trainer for the region. But like, these are difficult times. And some agents, listen, if you want to keep your goal for the year and that's how you want to set things up, go for it. Some people, their mind doesn't work that way. So I like that you have that quarterly goal, and it feels like we don't need that extra stress and anxiety on top of on top of life right now,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think number 2, then personally, because you asked for 2, I think with my one thing as an agent, not even as a business owner, as an agent, is to get back on social media and do what made me successful for the first 10, 11 years. and get in front of the camera a lot more. I've been on the camera since I was 23. And whether I like it or not,
it's like it. You're like Holly. I call him a mix between Clark Kent and Ryan Seacrest. Okay, he is. And then your hair is looking fabulous today. I must say.
I combed it just for you. Tomorrow there will be a St. Louis hat on, and it won't come off until the next mega camp.
I got lucky today being because I'm in homage to RBG that I got just to put my hair back in a ponytail. Not that
you look good. You look good. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
I appreciate your homage.
Amy says, my friend Amy says, you're very prim and proper to him. Like, no, it's RBG. And my glasses, like the light glasses.
Is that your dissent collar, Karen?
Oh, well, I dissent. Well, Nick, you dissent way more than I do, by the way.
I do, yeah.
Okay. Back to you, Andy.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, and again, that was the first one was the 90-day spurts, which is a coach. And then just as an agent getting back on video, all things video, all things Facebook, really. Those could be parsed out into two things, though I see them as one thing that kind of dovetails into other things, like the video text, like the video emails from Bomb, like we talked about. It's video's not going away, and whether I like to comb my hair or not, I got to probably be on camera more often, and that's just something that immediately became at peace with during Mega Camp.
You know what's amazing is about Mega Camp, I was thinking, is we had a brokerage owner of another large franchise who's within this time period, so I don't want to violate franchise law. And you know what? The beauty of doing Mega Camp virtually just hit me as you're wearing your red, white, blue t-shirt, Andy, is that he said, wow, I saw that you guys are partners with Google and Facebook. And I thought, if he was in Mega Camp, he could have been in a conversation and missed it. He could have missed that session. He could have missed that interview. But the fact that we can go back and watch anything when you were saying playing catch up, I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome, because he caught it or he went back and saw it. And so I think that the beauty of being able to go use this material again, just like bold materials, they let you keep for like 30 or 60 days too. Like what we can do with them. But isn't there a stat of like who's really going to actually implement anything? Because I'm going to challenge everybody to implement one thing, right?
Well, Anna Kruger put out an email, and I don't know, I can't cite the sources, though. I think it's like you have a 73% chance of completing one or two things if you just focus on three things. And if you focus on 4 to 7 things, you have a 20% chance of achieving more than one thing. And so I'll send you the email so you have it if you don't already have it. But she blasted that out to everybody for her MAPS group coaching training, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty in line with capacity theory. Again, you have what you focus on expands as the bold law. It's more like a capacity theory. It's based on clinical psychologist theories and models. Though I have a performance psychologist that is also a coach of mine. He used to coach the Cardinals, Dr. Jason Selk. And he talks about capacity theory. He said there's some people in the world that can go as much as 4, but it's usually 2 to 3 is all anybody can focus on at one time. So there's a lot of truth. And he was a big fan of Gary Keller's book, The One Thing. There's a lot of truth to the one thing. And it's Gary demystifies it in a way that clinical psychologists, when they write books about the one thing, they get so much in the weeds, and it's a really dense read, and Gary actually makes it a little bit more fun. By comparison. Yeah.
Nick, back to you, Nick.
Sorry, I was queuing up a song for the outro. My bad.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say something
no. I was just queuing up a song so we had one to play on the outro. It's another salute to RBG when we play on the outro.
Andy, have you ever read the book The Inner Game of Tennis?
I haven't. I'm a soccer guy.
It doesn't matter.
That's probably a metaphor, right?
It is. I mean, it is. Talks about tennis, but Jill Corvell, she's a MAPS leadership coach, and I were talking about it this weekend because she's really into tennis now. But she goes, what's funny is Diana Kokoska had told us like 5-6 years ago to read it. And it is a sports, like it's a psychology book. So when you mentioned that one of your coaches is a sports psychologist, I think it would be a book that you would really enjoy reading. So The Inner Game of Tennis.
Hey, Andy, what are you reading currently?
Well, The Intelligent Investor, number 1. Benjamin Graham. Isn't
that really old?
It's very, very old. Warren Buffett read it 12 times allegedly before he
Joel
ever
and I
spent a
bought
dollar
it.
investing. Yeah.
Yeah. Joel and I both-
Before that, what I would recommend to you guys is Human Nature. If you've not read that book or even know who Robert Greene is,
I'm gonna look
phenomenal writer. In fact, who's the guy? I can't even think. Ryan Holiday is the big. He's the writer of the day that everyone loves, and he's amazing. I've read all of his books. Yet this is his mentor, and this is a very dense read. If you looked on Audible, it's probably 30 hours. Human Nature
by Ryan Holiday.
Robert Greene.
Okay, sorry. See, not one thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's that one helped me understand. Well, I'm sure we've all looked at the documentary for the social dilemma, or at least heard about it to this point. Though that book helps you kind of it explains how the human animal works and operates, and how they, meaning the social media companies, definitely hacked into that a little bit and made it. And that way, the book itself gives you a lot of, if you do the self work, it gives you a lot of self-awareness. So you're really kind of insulated from a lot of that. Not all of it, because it is a hack, yet quite a bit of it. And that self-awareness makes you a better person and makes you just more at peace with the human animal and how people act around you. Especially if you're like me and you're like, oh, how do you get like that? I mean, I legitimately ask myself that question internally sometimes. And that definitely helps. It definitely helps build empathy. If we're the big thing that people are looking for, and I ask this question quite frequently different ways on my social media account, is what are people looking for in leadership? And empathy comes up more than anything else.
Yeah.
If you want to develop more empathy, a book like Human Nature, very dense. Again, it's a graduate level read. Yet do the work, and you'll gain a different perspective. You'll be a better, more educated person on persons after that read.
That would be a great book for an entire leadership team to read.
Oh yeah. It'll take you 6 months potentially, but it's definitely a phenomenal book to read, and I would definitely welcome any discussion with leadership about that, because I don't have a lot of people that have read it.
Do you want to do a book club with my leadership team in Naperville?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that.
See, there you go. All right. How do we find you, Andrew Hannigan at kw.com or Hannigan@realty.com?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I give my number out all the time on social media, so I can give it out here. It's 314-324-1245.
Wait, 314.
Yeah, 314-324-1245.
All the single ladies. All the single ladies. Put your hands up.
Yeah, I get a lot of, especially anytime I do stuff like this, I get at least a dozen or so Facebook requests. You can follow me, friend request me on Facebook. It's just Facebook/Andy Hannigan. That's me. Anything else social media wise, you're getting somebody else. If you do have questions, I got quite a few people to ask for little mini coaching sessions. I have no problem doing that. They might ask me, if you've ever seen one of my Mind Freak Fridays, they might ask me the rationale around that, because it might be a picture of some very disgusting feet. And it's a very Freudian practice. If you guys want to know why I'm doing all that on my personal page, let me know. I can talk to you about that and the rationale.
Well, I think you like feet. I mean, I've seen some experiences where you have really liked feet. So we'll talk about that.
I'm definitely not a feet. I'm definitely not into feet.
I can't say that most people are, though. I know that, and that's one of the reasons I put that out there, because they tie that memory. It's mind share, even whether you like it or not. It's mind share before market.
It's like Andy. Andy's the guy that posts pictures of feet. Yeah, I know that guy.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That worked. See, Nick, now you know Andy.
I know the feet guy.
The feet guy.
Andy, the feet guy.
All right,
Yeah.
Andy Hannigan. Thank you so much. Love you, kid. Thank you for trusting.
Love you guys too.
Nick, you liked him, right? See?
Yeah. Yeah, he was okay. No, I'm kidding. Of course I liked him. What am I going to say? No, I don't like him.
You might.
Like a superhero right now. You look like Captain America with that like shirt, glasses.
Andy's like 6'2", 6'3". Like he's
Stop
buff.
it.
Yeah, he's buff. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we're playing you out, Andy.
Appreciate it.
Little Notorious B.I.G. for Notorious R.O.G.
When the la hits your lyrics,
Bye.
just hit you, and so hard that your hat can't